General Hospital spoilers for the next 2 weeks, May 5 to May 16, reveal that Drew Cain's investigation will heat up while Jack Brennan has a secret meeting. Jen Sidwell will also make a risky proposal, so there will be a lot happening on the ABC soap. During the week of May 5 to 9, Cody Bell will step up after finding some danger. It sounds like Cody may play the hero at the bonfire and call Dante Falconeri about Rocco Falconeri's drunken ordeal. Dante will flip out once he finds out about Rocco's underage drinking and how he let Danny Morgan talk him into going to this college party. Jason Morgan will give Danny a stern lecture once he gets updates as well. Since there's underage drinking happening at this bonfire, some arrests could be made. If Dante puts Giovanni Gio Palmieri in handcuffs, that could put his role in PCU's music program at risk. It would also set up some family tension since Dante and Gio are father and son, even if they don't know it yet. It seems Lois Cerullo will panic over the trouble Gio's about to land in, and will beg Dante as she tries to smooth things over. After Christina Corinthos Davis gets some advice from Lucky Spencer, she'll try to make peace, presumably with Alexis Davis. Christina may be willing to move past the papers she found that could have had her committed, but she still doesn't know the whole story since Alexis is hiding Ava Jerome's blackmail. Next, Nana Reeves will realize her plan has turned into an absolute failure since Willow believes Drew's version of events, now that ketamine has been found in his system. Drew had a flashback of Tracy Quartermain just before he was drugged, and may take a closer look at her as a suspect. GAE spoilers say Drew's investigation will heat up and lead him to some critical info, but will it point in the wrong direction? Nina and Portia Robinson will work to cover their tracks, but Portia will have to be careful when she pumps Willow for information later. As for Brad Cooper, he may decide he's done playing dirty for Portia. Could Brad choose to play dirty for Selena Wu instead since he's about to make a choice that changes his life? Back with Nina, she'll meet up with Curtis Ashford as they complain about Drew and his knack for slithering out of trouble. Speaking of trouble, some of that will be brewing when Sasha Gilmore Corbin encounters Willow. The usual tension will erupt and lead to Willow having a showdown with her former friend, but Sasha will give as good as she gets. After Jocelyn Jacks manages to get the thumb drive back to Emma Scorpio Drake's, she'll be a little guilt-ridden over corrupting the info and messing up all Emma's hard work. Even so, Jocelyn will stick to her assignment of scoring the research assistant spot and may learn more about her mission once Brennan holds a secret meeting. Both Jocelyn and Vaughn could find out some surprising details about Professor Henry Hank Dalton and what the WSB is hoping to find out. Elsewhere, Sidwell will have a risky proposal to deliver, so he'll try to rope someone on canvas into a new deal. It's always dangerous to do business with Sidwell, so that's important to keep in mind. During the week of May 12 to 16, fans should finally discover the outcome of Kai Taylor's surgery. Kai was clinging to some hopeful predictions before he headed to the operating room, but he may be filled with despair if the procedure failed. In fact, there's a chance Kai could wake up and find he's far worse than before, since there's a risk of paralysis. Meanwhile, Drew will keep trying to get to the bottom of the drugging fiasco. So will there be clues that point to Nina and maybe even Portia eventually? Portia and especially Nina can't get away with this forever, so it'll be interesting to see how things start to unravel for them. That said, Drew is still a manipulative monster who needs to have his own transgressions exposed. Michael Corinthos didn't really turn down Willow's visit in Germany, so could a phone call to Jason or Carly Spencer help clear that up? It's easy to imagine Jason taking a closer look at the situation and wondering if Drew had a hand in sabotaging Willow's attempt to see Michael. Of course, Jason may have more pressing issues to deal with, like making sure Danny stays safe and helping Sonny Corinthos figure out who his mysterious enemy is. Maurice Bernard from General Hospital just promised his fans a fun time on his State of Mind podcast soon. His guest will be interesting, as they seem to have a good time together in the preview. Read on to get more details. Maurice is getting more and more popular amid rumors that he might exit the mob. Well, if he does, or even exits the show, then fans won't have to go far to find him because he hosts his State of Mind podcast. Becoming increasingly interesting, he hosts a lot of good people there who talk about mental health issues. Soon, someone who isn't often fun on the daytime drama will make Maurice laugh, cry, and have a fun time. Who is it? Well, on his Instagram profile post this week, the real-life Sonny Corinthos revealed he will be hosting Cameron Matheson. In his caption, Maurice Benard told his GH fans, "There's not very many people that I know that I've been through what Cameron Matheson has been through. I cried editing this one, so pierogi, thank you Cam." That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. But in his reel, the two ABC actors laughed a lot. The reel revealed Maurice laughing as he said, "This is State of Mind, this is Cameron Matheson. Wait till you see what he did. It's like watching a great movie. It's fun and deep." Fun and deep sounds very interesting. Often, mental health interviews can be a bit difficult to follow or even triggering. One thing though, ABC fans agree that Benard certainly seems to be growing as host for the often difficult subject. Most of his podcasts involve an element of coping with mental health, so there's a good chance that it will be covered. The people who saw the little preview teaser can tune in on YouTube on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it looks like it will be popular, despite many folks who hate the character of Drew Cain. One follower wrote, "Laughing, crying, and healing on the same platform, my kinda platform." So, Maurice Benard rewarded the comment with 3 red hearts. Here are a few more reactions. Another fan wrote, "Cameron and you and Maurice Benard are the best on State of Mind." It's not the first time that fans of the show will see Cameron on the podcast with Maurice. While you wait for the new podcast this weekend, you can watch a previous episode below. Let us know what you think of the podcast these days. Are you looking forward to more interaction with Cameron? Shout out in the comments below, and come back here often for all your General Hospital cast news and updates. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Sonny Corinthos may reel over Giovanni "Gio" Palmieri's medical crisis. Will Sonny's secret grandson land in danger next? At this point, Sonny is tired of watching the people he cares about land in risky situations because of him. Michael Corinthos nearly lost his life in that penthouse explosion, so Sonny is determined to give his loved ones a safer life. That's why Sonny plans to get out of the mob, but he has to figure out who's behind these attempts on his life and shut down his mysterious enemy first. Unfortunately, someone else could wind up in danger before Sonny can eliminate the threat. Tracy Quartermain may have given fans a hint about exactly who that someone will be. In GH's April 28 episode, Tracy had some dialogue that felt awfully ominous. As Tracy warned Gio about Sonny being a dangerous man, she argued that Gio would be exposed to that danger if Sonny was in his life. Gio clearly didn't buy that his connection to Uncle Sonny would put him in jeopardy, but Tracy kept working to convince him of the trouble ahead. Do you know what happens to the people that Sonny pulls into his world? They end up in prison or in the ground. And it would devastate me if that happened to you, Tracy insisted. If Tracy is this attached to Gio now, just imagine how she'll be when she finds out Gio is her great-grandson. The writing's on the wall for a Gio medical crisis storyline that changes everything. Of course, Gio is grateful to Sonny for being his benefactor and always giving him support over the years. Although Gio doesn't know Sonny is his grandpa, he thinks of Sonny as family and is indeed in his orbit. That's why Tracy's danger warning is concerning, especially when there's a legitimate threat to Sonny's life that continues to escalate. Like Michael, Gio could find himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, and get injured because of Sunny. This might even be how the truth about Gio's parentage comes out. Gio might need some sort of medical donation, so Lois Cerullo might be forced to come clean in an effort to find Gio a match. Regardless, Sunny is worried about his loved ones getting hurt because of him. Tracy is basically worried about the same thing. Gio may be next in line for some Sunny-related danger, so Tracy's predictions about the risks could come true. Although Gio will survive whatever might be in store, there could be some scary moments for Sunny and everyone else who cares about Gio. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine and Dante Falconieri might find out the truth about their son right when they fear they're going to lose him. In recent developments on General Hospital, Drew's erratic behavior has stirred tension in Port Charles, sparking a covert plot to discredit him. His recent actions, influenced by an unknown source, prompted friends and foes alike to question his integrity, leading Nina and Portia to orchestrate a calculated scheme aimed at destroying his relationship with Willow. The plan involved Justinda, who fabricated damning evidence suggesting Drew was unfaithful. Upon her return from Germany, Willow was shocked to find Drew and Justinda together in the master bedroom. Devastated, she sought comfort at her mother Nina's home, unaware that Nina had orchestrated the deception. Although Nina appeared sympathetic, she was complicit in the manipulation. Her involvement remained hidden, but should Willow uncover the truth, it could irreparably damage their relationship. Nina's betrayal would transform her image from nurturing mother to deceiver in her daughter's eyes. Drew, suspecting he had been drugged, confirmed his theory through a blood test that revealed the presence of compound K, a substance known to impair behavior. While Willow accepted his explanation, Drew launched his own investigation, ultimately uncovering the roles Nina and Portia played in the setup. As the truth inches closer to the surface, Willow's heartbreak is poised to evolve into outrage. The revelation of her mother's duplicity could lead to a highly emotional confrontation. In a moment of raw emotion, Willow may express her deep disappointment, possibly calling her mother disgusting or even confessing her shame. Regardless of how events unfold, Nina's plot seems destined to collapse, leaving behind fractured relationships and irreversible consequences. The fallout promises intense emotional drama as trust is shattered and loyalties are tested. A beach bonfire in Port Charles that began as a celebration turned into a nightmare, unraveling a meticulously orchestrated deception that implicated innocent lives and exposed the sinister underbelly of ambition and envy. At the center of this chaos was Emma, a seemingly exemplary student whose quiet exterior concealed a chilling motive. During the party, Danny Morgan discovered Rocco unconscious on the sand, with traces of a sedative-laced drink nearby. Faced with the dilemma of seeking help or protecting others from scandal, Danny hesitated, an inaction that nearly cost Rocco his life. The substance in Rocco's system was traced back to a potent sedative, one Emma had stolen from her university lab. What appeared accidental was, in fact, a calculated attempt to frame Jocelyn, Emma's academic rival. Emma had been silently nursing resentment after losing a coveted research assistant position to Jocelyn, a bold and magnetic presence who had caught the attention of Professor Hank Dalton. Emma's strategy was multifaceted. She drugged Rocco to create chaos, planted suspicions around a stolen USB drive containing her research, and subtly redirected blame toward Jocelyn. Her performance was flawless, feeding panic, sowing rumors, and manipulating perceptions without ever directly accusing anyone. As a result, Jocelyn was suspended, publicly shamed, and nearly expelled. However, Emma underestimated Lulu, Rocco's mother and a former investigative journalist. Suspicious of the circumstances surrounding her son's condition, Lulu launched a private investigation. Surveillance footage, lab records, and forensic evidence pointed directly to Emma. At a school assembly, Lulu publicly exposed Emma's deception, presenting irrefutable proof of the calculated framing. The fallout was immediate and severe. Emma's reputation collapsed, and her academic future disintegrated. Jocelyn was exonerated, though the emotional damage lingered. The event not only redefined relationships among the students and faculty, but also served as a grim reminder: the most dangerous threats often wear the mask of innocence. The incident ignited a broader conversation in Port Charles about trust, ambition, and the consequences of unchecked manipulation. What unfolded that night was not just a teenage mishap, it was a deliberate act of betrayal, laying bare the cost of weaponized ambition in the pursuit of academic prestige. Maurice Benard, General Hospital star Sonny Corinthos, looks fine as mulled wine after announcing that he just returned from a trip with an amazing sidekick. Fans of the daytime drama on ABC agreed that his new look seemed awesome as well. Read on and see the photo. Maurice took to his Instagram profile page at the end of April and shared a short reel of himself set to the music of Three Dog Night's Mama Told Me. He and his sidekick, Sensei Majid Reyes, appeared to be in an airport, as passengers with luggage were in the background. In the reel, Reyes asked a relaxed-looking Maurice, "How do you feel after the Bahamas?" Well, in the company of the stuntman, martial arts expert, actor, and trainer, the real-life Sonny Corinthos certainly looked fine. Maurice Benard told the camera, "I feel content. I ate a lot, I swam a lot, and I loved a lot." In his caption, the ABC actor told his fans, "I'm back. We were Bahama-bound at Majid Reyes, and we did it all." He added, "I am ready to go back. Who wants to go with me?" Many people commented on how well Benard looked, especially with a silver gray goatee and a nice tan. One follower told him, "Maurice, you look wonderful. Love the goatee. Vacation agrees with you." Another Sonny fan wrote, "That tan is everything." One follower who knows that one of the GA star's first anxiety attacks happened on a plane said, "Hope your Bahamas trip was fabulous and gave you time to explore, rest, and relax. Kudos for flying, Maurice." And he acknowledged that, saying yes. From the comments, other viewers saw that Maurice Benard saw some dolphins, and that he enjoyed being with Sensei Majid Reyes. Well, who wouldn't? Anyway, when another follower wrote, "So glad you had a great time, you two bring out the best in each other," the actor popped up 4 red hearts. Some stars announced their return to the USA in the last few days of April or the very beginning of May 2025, so they have likely already resumed or are just about to resume filming. One thing that looks certain is that after spending time with Reyes, Maurice will be ready to get back into his scenes on the set. Hopefully, he can keep the goatee. What do you think of the AVC star looking so fine? Shout out in the comments below, and come back here often for all your General Hospital cast news and updates. In the latest episode of General Hospital airing Tuesday, May 6, 2025, Port Charles becomes a battleground of shifting power dynamics, emotional upheaval, and explosive secrets. As major players move behind the scenes and personal conflicts ignite, this installment delivers high-stakes drama across multiple storylines. Tensions mount between Dr. Portia Robinson and Brad Cooper as their long-standing feud takes a more sinister direction. Historically dominant in their interactions, Portia now finds herself vulnerable when Brad uncovers potentially damaging information. His cryptic confrontation with an unnamed character suggests blackmail is imminent, leaving Portia's professional and personal integrity hanging by a thread. The origins of Brad's leverage remain unclear, but its impact could shake General Hospital to its core. Emma Scorpio Drake and Jocelyn Jacks escalate their professional rivalry with covert tactics. During a moment of distraction when Emma goes for a swim, Jocelyn seizes the chance to steal and sabotage a thumb drive believed to hold critical data. Her plan to corrupt the files and stealthily return the drive is nearly flawless, until Emma senses something is amiss. The resulting investigation may expose Jocelyn's tactics, placing her ambitions and reputation at risk. At the Corinthos home, Willow confides in Nina Reeves, expressing doubts about her trust in Drew Cain. Nina reassures her daughter, but the emotional complexity deepens when it's revealed Drew tested positive for ketamine. His desperate attempts to uncover who drugged him lead him to Max Scorpio, suggesting foul play. As suspicions rise, Willow must choose whether to stand by Drew or protect her family from potential fallout. Lulu Spencer confronts unresolved feelings triggered by Dante Falconeri's recent statements. Meanwhile, Tracy Quartermain aggressively confronts Lois over the whereabouts of her great-grandson, suggesting deeper family tensions. Carly Spencer also reveals emotional vulnerability in a heartfelt confession that hints at unresolved grief or regret. These interwoven narratives paint a portrait of three women wrestling with their past and present. Rocco Falconeri's sudden collapse after consuming a single drink raises alarm across Port Charles. Medical professionals are baffled, with theories ranging from hidden health conditions to potential poisoning. As Dante and Lulu brace for the worst, the urgency of the situation underscores the unpredictability and danger hidden within everyday events. The core of this episode is Nina Reeves' complex scheme to destroy Drew Cain and Willow Corinthos' relationship. By enlisting an escort named Jacinda to drug Drew, Nina manipulates circumstances to make Drew appear unstable. While the plan was carefully executed, the risk of exposure grows. A forgotten detail or stray piece of evidence, like a hidden recording, could unravel the entire operation. To ensure Jacinda's silence, Nina paid her off and sent her abroad. But soap opera logic dictates nothing stays buried. Jacinda could return under an alias, seeking further compensation or revenge, threatening to bring Nina's plot into the light. Unbeknownst to many, Portia and Brad were also complicit in Nina's plan. Portia may have assisted in covering up medical evidence, while Brad allegedly sourced the drugs used to compromise Drew. Should guilt or opportunism take over, either could expose Nina, intensifying the scandal and potentially toppling everyone involved. The eventual revelation of Nina's betrayal could lead to a devastating confrontation with Willow. If Willow remains emotionally invested in Drew, her mother's actions may spark an irrevocable fallout. In a dramatic standoff, Willow may sever ties completely, declaring Nina no longer part of her life. The emotional repercussions could extend to her children, effectively isolating Nina and altering family dynamics for good. Amid rising tension, Drew may use Nina's betrayal to his advantage. If he uncovers her role in his drugging, he could orchestrate a strategic reveal to manipulate Willow into cutting off her mother. The possibility of doctored evidence or forged communications being used to seal Nina's fate sets the stage for a dramatic public fallout. Finally, the episode hints at the beginning of Drew Cain's own unraveling. Once seen as a victim, Drew's pattern of manipulation and deceit starts to catch up with him. Former allies may turn against him, and hidden evidence from past misdeeds threatens to surface. As his political and personal empires face collapse, the consequences promise far-reaching ripple effects across Port Charles. At the heart of Drew's deception is Willow, whose blind trust led her to end her marriage with Michael Corinthos, still recovering from traumatic injuries. Her decision has uprooted her children and led to significant instability. With mounting evidence against Drew and her life in chaos, Willow's journey becomes a painful exploration of misplaced faith and fractured family bonds. Stay tuned for more General Hospital updates as these storylines evolve. With betrayal, revenge, and redemption at the center, Port Charles remains a nexus of unrelenting drama. Will long-buried secrets finally destroy the foundations these characters stand on? In the latest developments on General Hospital, Nina's emotional unraveling reaches a critical stage, culminating in a desperate journey to Germany in a last-ditch attempt to salvage her connection with her daughter, Willow. What begins as a quest for reconciliation soon triggers a cascade of consequences that could shift the power dynamics in Port Charles permanently. Nina's downward spiral originates from her misguided efforts to protect Willow by orchestrating a calculated scheme with Portia. Involving a professional escort named Justinda, Nina aimed to sabotage Willow's trust in Drew by manufacturing a scandalous encounter. However, the plan backfired. Willow, rather than turning against Drew, began questioning those around her, particularly Nina. The betrayal redefined Nina not as a protective mother, but as a manipulator driven by fear and control. As her carefully constructed plan collapses, Nina becomes increasingly isolated. Even her former allies begin to distance themselves. Recognizing the dwindling options, she sets out for Germany, seeking an audience with Michael, Willow's partner and a key influencer in her life. Nina believes that appealing to Michael could turn the tide, but the risk is immense. A rejection from him could not only close the door to Willow forever, but also dismantle Nina's remaining ties to the Korenpos family. Meanwhile, Michael, undergoing treatment in Germany, is wrestling with emotional and psychological wounds far deeper than his physical injuries. Nina's arrival forces him to confront unresolved tensions and long-buried family trauma. Despite his deep-seated anger toward Nina, her revelations expose new layers to the scandal, hinting at a broader conspiracy involving Portia and possibly Drew. The information Nina presents casts doubt on Drew's integrity, suggesting he may have had knowledge of, or even participated in, the scheme to manipulate public perception for political gain. This revelation shakes Michael, who begins to see himself as a pawn in a complex power game, rather than merely a victim of personal betrayal. Back in Port Charles, Nina's absence creates a volatile vacuum. With Carly and Portia maneuvering behind the scenes, and Drew seeking redemption, the local political and emotional landscape becomes increasingly unstable. Michael's imminent return looms large, with the potential to either restore order or incite total upheaval. As Michael recovers, he begins to see clearly through the web of deception. The realization that family trust has been eroded by calculated schemes propels him toward a strategic stance. Armed with new information, public trust, and a fierce determination to protect Willow and their children, Michael prepares to confront Drew, challenge Nina's motives, and expose the depth of manipulation at play. The outcome remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. Port Charles stands on the brink of a seismic shift. Nina's plea for redemption may ignite the very chain reaction she hoped to prevent. And as Michael rises from his hospital bed, no longer just a wounded man, but a calculating force, the stakes grow higher. The balance of power is shifting, and no one involved will emerge unscathed. Veteran actress Carolyn Hennessy, who has portrayed Diane Miller on General Hospital for nearly 2 decades, is now facing an uncertain future on the show. Once a pivotal character known for her sharp intellect and fierce loyalty, Diane is slowly being written out of major storylines, raising concerns among longtime fans and signaling broader creative issues within the series. Hennessy, whose portrayal of Diane has brought elegance, wit, and emotional nuance to General Hospital, has found herself sidelined amid the show's shift toward espionage-driven narratives and younger characters. Once a courtroom powerhouse and a critical support to legacy characters like Sunny, Carly, and Alexis, Diane's role has been reduced to brief, inconsequential appearances. For Hennessy, this creative neglect has not only led to frustration, but also prompted her to consider stepping away from the show entirely. Over the past year, Hennessy has proposed several innovative ideas to reinvigorate Diane's character, from a circus-themed backstory and connections to Damien Spinelli to jazz lounge performances and even superhero arcs. However, these pitches have reportedly been met with vague responses and no actionable follow-through from the production team. This lack of creative engagement has left the actress feeling demoralized and disconnected from a role she once found deeply meaningful. The issue, however, extends beyond a single character. As General Hospital increasingly prioritizes fast-paced action and complex conspiracies, involving groups like the WSB and DVX. It has marginalized several legacy characters, including Diane. This creative direction is raising alarms about the show's long-term identity and its ability to honor its roots. In the most recent storyline development, Diane is said to uncover crucial evidence related to attacks on Sonny. Her investigative partnership with Damian Spinelli reveals a tangled web of betrayal within powerful organizations, culminating in a silent but deadly retaliation against Diane herself. Though not officially confirmed, leaks suggest that Diane's death may be imminent, ushering in a tragic exit for a character long admired for her strength, clarity, and integrity. Such an outcome would not only mark the end of an era, but also provoke a seismic shift in the show's emotional core. Sonny's response, reportedly filled with grief and vengeance, underscores how deeply Diane was embedded in the moral framework of General Hospital. Her absence leaves a vacuum that no amount of new characters or action sequences can easily fill. If Carolyn Hennessy departs, it won't just be the loss of a beloved actress. It will be a symbolic moment in which General Hospital potentially alienates a core segment of its audience, those who value character depth, continuity, and storytelling that respects its history. As the show barrels forward in pursuit of modern relevance, it risks erasing the very elements that once made it resonate: loyalty, intelligence, and the quiet strength embodied by characters like Diane Miller. The situation now demands introspection from the show's creators. Will General Hospital recognize the legacy and narrative value of long-standing characters, or will it continue down a path that may offer short-term thrills at the cost of long-term coherence and loyalty? Diane's fate could be the canary in the coal mine for the future of Port Charles. I think I speak for everyone when I say that Jofiel Love stole our hearts the moment she walked into General Hospital as Violet Finn, the daughter of Dr. Hamilton Finn and Hayden Barnes. That, if you can recall, was in 2019. These days, even though there are no more GA scripts to read and master, and no more quirky comments to unleash, the actress is keeping busy in other small ways. Young star Jofiel Love knows how to celebrate a win, no matter how little it may seem to anyone. The actress recently took to Instagram to share a series of photos of herself set to Working Girl by Dolly Parton. While there was no direct clue as to what role this working girl has booked for herself, she did hint at a fun national commercial starring yours truly. This means that we could likely see her face on our screens in between enjoying our favorite television shows. The star joined General Hospital in 2019, before exiting it in October 2024 when a story arc caused her character to move away from Port Charles. While we don't know when Jofiel Love might be making GH a return, or even if she will, she has continued to grow her repertoire by starring in such projects as FBI, International, and The Winchesters. However, she does not limit herself to starring in just TV shows, since she has managed to rack up quite a few movies under her belt. These include We Have a Ghost, Renfield, and Five Nights at Freddy's. The rising star is also not a stranger to commercials, as one of her first gigs is a 2018 Citibank commercial. In the ad, she and her brother, Gabriel, are shown clinging to their real-life father's legs. Their father is playing the part of a monster stomping around their homes. Recalling the experience in a Facebook post, she said, "Gabriel and I laughed so much that day. My neck got sore from having to look up so much. My dad could barely walk the next day. Jofiel Love is just getting started, and we can't wait to keep up with her." Gio's arrival in Port Charles was never the simple story of a young man reconnecting with family. Instead, it marked the beginning of a calculated campaign cloaked in elegance, charm, and music. Initially perceived as a gentle violinist with a quiet demeanor, Gio subtly embedded himself into the heart of the town's power dynamics. What the residents didn't see behind his soft smiles and unassuming presence was a meticulously crafted plan driven by long-buried pain and betrayal. Behind his every word and gesture lay the weight of a forgotten past. Gio was not a wanderer in search of belonging. He was a deliberate force shaped by abandonment. Discarded by Brooklyn and ignored by Dante, Gio entered Port Charles with full knowledge of his lineage and an unwavering resolve. He wasn't seeking reconciliation, he was pursuing retribution. From an early age, Gio had learned the truth about Brooklyn, not through love, but through criticism and silence. Her absence became the defining shadow of his childhood. As he matured, he assembled the puzzle pieces of his identity and realized the full scope of what had been taken from him: an identity, a voice, a rightful place. He didn't arrive to beg for acknowledgement, but to expose the emotional and moral bankruptcy of those who had failed him. Every interaction Gio engaged in was a calculated move. His performances on the violin were not acts of passion, but instruments of expression and control. Each note carried unspoken anger and pain, allowing him to remain composed while unleashing his emotional truth. Beneath the surface, his soft-spoken charm masked a relentless strategist evaluating his surroundings and allies. Brooklyn's lingering discomfort around Gio wasn't misplaced. Despite lacking tangible proof, she sensed the gravity of his presence. Her confession, overheard by Gio, confirmed his deepest fears. She had never searched for him. That realization didn't spark heartbreak, it ignited resolve. Gio didn't need her love. He needed her to understand the consequences of her choices. As Gio embedded himself deeper into the social circles of Port Charles, forming strategic alignments with figures like Tracy, Jason, and Sunny, he was never driven by sentiment. Tracy's transparency appealed to him. Her ruthlessness was predictable and respected. Aligning with her wasn't emotional, it was tactical. Similarly, his relationship with Sunny was built on constructing a narrative of loyalty to gain credibility and protection. Meanwhile, Lois and Gloria's attempts to reintegrate Gio into the Chirlo family legacy were seen by him not as acceptance but manipulation. He quickly discerned their motives and countered their efforts with his own subtle campaign of psychological control. Through carefully crafted compliments and selectively shared vulnerability, Gio maintained influence while never relinquishing power. At the core of Gio's journey was transformation. He evolved from a discarded child into a poised operator, navigating emotional minefields with precision. Those who viewed him as a young man embracing family underestimated his true intentions. Gio had no desire to preserve the legacy that abandoned him. He came to dismantle it from within. In recent developments on General Hospital, the investigation into the fire at Sonny Corinthos' penthouse has taken a critical turn. Initially believed to be another targeted attack against Sonny, who has no shortage of enemies, the incident is now being viewed through a more complex lens, thanks to emerging evidence and the keen insights of Brick. Drew Cain, once regarded as compassionate and selfless, appears to have undergone a significant personality shift following his stint in prison. The experience seemingly altered his moral compass, replacing his once genuine intentions with manipulative and controlling behavior. Central to this transformation is Drew's intensifying fixation on Willow. After playing a crucial role in saving her life during her cancer battle, Drew developed a profound emotional attachment. His gratitude gradually morphed into obsession, especially as he began to see Michael Corinthos as a direct competitor for Willow's affection. This rivalry cast a shadow over Drew's motivations, fueling a pattern of increasingly calculated and aggressive behavior. As Brick meticulously worked through the list of potential suspects, eliminating names such as Jack, Brennan, and Sidwell, the evidence began to point in a surprising direction. Clues suggest the fire may have served as a strategic smokescreen, a ploy engineered by Drew to undermine Michael and potentially destabilize Sonny's power structure. With Drew now emerging as the primary suspect, critical questions remain. How will Sonny respond to the revelation? And what consequences will Drew face for his alleged actions? In a dramatic turn of events on General Hospital, longtime secrets have unraveled with powerful emotional consequences for the residents of Port Charles. Recent episodes revealed that Brooke Lynn Quartermaine secretly gave birth to Dante Falconeri's child years ago and surrendered the baby for adoption without his knowledge. This revelation, shared first with Tracy Quartermaine, set off a sequence of deeply personal confrontations and shocking discoveries. Tracy, stunned by the depth of Brooke Lynn's remorse and the magnitude of her past decision, immediately sought answers. She turned to Lois Cerullo, suspecting that Brooke Lynn's mother had known about the pregnancy and may have influenced the outcome. Through persistent questioning, Tracy uncovered the bombshell truth. Brooke Lynn's son is none other than Gio, a young man already integrated into their lives. The emotional weight of this revelation hit both Brooke Lynn and Gio with intense force. Their reunion was raw and poignant, capturing the layered complexity of long-lost familial connections. Brooke Lynn, overwhelmed with guilt and love, confessed her past to Gio, who struggled with a mixture of disbelief, anger, and hope. Despite the emotional chaos, Gio embraced her, marking the beginning of a long-overdue bond between mother and son. Meanwhile, Dante's own reaction to learning he had a son he never knew about was no less intense. Grappling with regret over lost time and missed milestones, Dante initiated his own heartfelt reunion with Gio. The encounter was layered with emotional depth as both men navigated the complexities of a relationship forged by blood but denied by circumstance. Tracy's involvement was pivotal. Her confrontation with Lois exposed not only a concealed family history but also sparked wider repercussions. Lois, burdened by guilt, was forced to acknowledge her part in shaping both Brooke Lynn's and Gio's lives through silence. The ripple effect of this revelation altered family dynamics, challenging long-held assumptions and catalyzing overdue reconciliation. Across Port Charles, the revelation triggered emotional reverberations. While some relationships were strained by the truth, others found paths to healing. Brooke Lynn, though burdened by past decisions, took a bold step toward transparency and repair. Gio, thrust into the center of a tangled lineage, discovered the love and belonging he had unknowingly missed. Dante, acknowledging the years he can't recover, committed himself to building a future with his son, one grounded in truth rather than regret. As the Quartermaine and Falconeri families adjust to this seismic shift, the broader GH community watches as new bonds are forged and old wounds begin to close.